Welcome to yoga. Take a comfortable seat or supine, however you want to start today. Oh, you will need a strap or tie or something that you can hold, stretch your arms out with, a block and a blanket, or a small bolster, something to put under your back toward the end of practice. We're going to be focusing today on the upper body and releasing tension and discovering maybe some imbalances that can lead to tension headaches, neck pain, tingling in your fingers. There's a bunch of nerves that pass right through this area here, the brachial plexus, and if they're constricted, you can get some tingling and numbness in your hands. That's called thoracic outlet syndrome. And one more thing. Tightness in the jaw that can TMJ. Anyway, those are just some kind of common things that can be caused by tense, tight muscles, and a lot of us carry tension up in our shoulders and neck. So anyway, we're just going to be checking into that today, seeing if we can let some of it go. And we're also going to be doing pranayama that is great for stress relief. So releasing tension, stress that can be caused by stress in our muscles and also in our more overall system, subtle areas. So get yourself comfortable. It can be supine or seated. And begin to do that awareness out of the thinking mind into your feeling, body sensations, internal awareness that we talked about last week, interoception. And the more you practice that, the easier it will be to kind of let your thoughts go and to really bring your awareness inside and listen to your body. Connect with, the long range thing is to connect with your higher consciousness. So that all takes practice, and as one of the students said to me the other day that she's really noticing some benefits as she had an intention to practice more, and that's the importance of intention. So, and also the importance of practice, and you will begin to notice results. So, do your body scan, see what's going on inside today. Body, emotions, thoughts. See where you're starting. Always without judgment here. This is just seeing what is. What your body's telling you. And then just bring your awareness to your breath. So we're not going to start the pranayama yet, but just notice your breath. So focus on the air as it comes in through your nose, starting at the very tip, down your throat, into your lungs. Just notice the movement and sensations of the breath, movement of the body, sensations of the breath as it enters, and equally as important, the exhale as it exits. So one is not more important than the other. Inhale, exhale. And as you focus on the breath, even without consciously trying to change it, your breath will change. Just notice the air filling your lungs, chest expands on the inhale. Bring your awareness to the rib cage. Just in your mind's eye, seeing the ribs coming apart, expanding, intercostal muscles, stretching out, and then on the exhale, the muscles bring those ribs back together. And you don't want them to be too stretchy because they're protecting the lungs and the heart and the organs in the upper body. So they need to be firm and strong. But also flexible so that the lungs can fill. And the exhale, imagine the carbon dioxide leaving your body, that which is no longer needed. And I'm going to, before we actually start the pranayama, I'm going to describe it so you know what's going to happen. Very simple. And it's a breath that is great for stress control. So it's a breath that you can use. It does involve some, perhaps a little bit of noise, so maybe not in a crowd, but maybe not. Anyway, so here's what you're going to do. You're just going to be comfortable, and then when I tell you to start, you're going to take a deep breath in, and then you're going to exhale through your, I guess you can do it through your mouth with a sound. So inhale through your nose, and then when I tell you, and then exhale with a sound, any sound, a hum or a ah or a ha or om, any sound that makes you happy, that feels good, just quiet. You're not going to make a large sound, and your lips can be just barely touching, so you'll feel a vibration in your lips, but again, it's just very gentle. Another name for this is the bee breath, so that you can imagine a little bee sound, buzzing sound. So you're going to inhale, a deep inhale, exhale through your lips, lightly closed, keeping the sound all the way to the end of your exhale. And then when the air runs out, you take a breath in again and do the exhale through your making the little sound. That's it. And I will tell you when to start, and I will tell you when to stop. And please count your breaths. So you can do that with just keeping track with your fingers at the end of each breath or the beginning of each breath. But or you can do it in your head. Just keep track of your breaths. Okay? So when I say start, you're going to bring the inhale and then exhale just through your lips, lightly touching, making a sound. Okay, and count. Start. stop and return to a natural breath, but remember how many breaths that took. That was 1 minute. And sometimes just for fun at home, you could set a timer for 1 minute and count how many breaths you take in a minute with your regular breathing. Point being that we probably are taking 12 to 15 breaths a minute in your normal going around the day kind of way. And this B breath or stress breath or whatever you want to think of it as causes you to exhale longer. You're making that sound, soft sound through your lips as you exhale, drawing out the exhale so it's longer than the inhale. That's and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which takes you out of stress response. And so that's basically the physiology of how your this is a breath to relieve stress. So it's pretty simple. So remember, you can try that experiment at home, just anytime you want, and then see if doing this breath, how many breaths you take. Okay, so now that you've tamped down your stress level, you're calm, ready to begin practice, take a moment to create an intention. As I said before, intention is very powerful to achieving your goal, whatever it is. And so if it's what you'd like to take away from practice today, and just repeat that positive intention, affirmation a few times. And we're going to begin practice supine on our backs. So come on over onto your back. And we're going to start with knees bent, feet on the mat, near hip width apart. Bring your arms out to the side, palms face up. Just roll your shoulder blades a little together on the back. Open your chest up a little bit. Inhale here in the center. Exhale, bring your belly in. Let your knees go over to the right. Keep your belly in. Inhale, center. Exhale, belly in, knees to the left. So windshield wipe, moving with the breath. Slow, deep, even breath, so you're not whipping back and forth on fast speed here. You're on the slow speed, letting your breath initiate your action, movement. And I'm going to suggest keeping your eyes closed as often as you can during practice, as long as you're safe and have the balance, because that really helps to keep your awareness inside. Inhale, center, exhale, side. I like to sometimes keep my awareness on the bottoms of my feet, just follow how they touch the mat as I'm moving from side to side. You can move your gaze with the knees or in the opposite direction, or just keep it neutral. Find what works for you today. Might be different from what you've done every other time. Don't be afraid to try something different. You might press out through the top thigh when you go to each side. Notice how that lengthening out from the hip through the knee makes a difference in your hip joint. Just opening up the hips here, side to side. External, internal rotation. abducting, adducting. Next time you come to center, pause there. Bring your feet off the mat so your knees are over your hips and calves are parallel to the mat. And we're going to begin bicycles. So your hands, if it's more comfortable to have them down by your side, you can do that. Have any arms you want. Do activate your core. So press your low back toward the mat. That's like tucking your tailbone. And slowly begin to make bicycle movements with your legs, lengthening out one leg as you draw the other knee into your chest. So one leg is and knee, the hip and knee are extending. The other side is flexing, moving slowly. This is core. Very slowly. Working up the hip flexors, extensors. The leg that's moving away, lengthen out through the foot. And then pause and come back to center and begin backward bicycles. So just the other way. You're moving slowly. You can pair the breath any way you want. Just keep your inhales and exhales pretty equal. Slow breathing, deep, calm. Noticing any sensations as you move here. You might have a sensation in a hip or knee. And then slow it down, come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe rock a little bit around on your sacrum. And then hands on the knees, just begin to make circles around, knees apart and then back together up the midline. So you're circling your knees over around your hips. And if your hands are on your knees, you're bringing a little opening into the shoulder here, working the shoulder joint also. And then pause, circle the other way. And then come back to center. Arms down by your side. Cross your right thigh over your left. And you can take hold of your shins, your ankles here. So just a little bit of adducting, crossing the midline. Just as you hold here, maybe gently pressing, bringing your lower legs toward you and at the same time pressing them into your hands. Notice any difference in your sides or any sensations coming up here. And then cross your thighs the other way. So you're pulling your legs toward you and pushing them away at the same time. And then one more time, bring your both knees into your chest. Rock on your sacrum. And then either coming to your side or crossing your ankles and rocking up, come up to all fours. And establish a tabletop foundation. So wrists under shoulders, Hasta Bandha, spread your fingers, Press a little bit more into the fleshy finger bases. Take a little weight off your wrist. You can also go on your fists if that's too much, or you can come to your forearms if your wrists are very uncomfortable, and press into the tops of your shins, the tops of your feet. Spread your toes. Begin to move into a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhaling, your belly, your chest falls, but your arms stay straight. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, chin to chest, round your back like a cat, and just very slowly, not forcing, just gently opening, working your especially thoracic and lumbar spine through flexion and extension, juicing it up. Bring your awareness right to that spine. You want to not overextend your cervical spine, so keep your gaze down toward the mat, maybe a little in front. Breathe, move with your breath. And the next time you come to an exhale, let your hips go all the way back to your heels. Come into child's pose, resting your forehead on your arms or a pillow. If that feels better, you can have something, a blanket under your thighs. So find a child's pose. Arms can be out in front. Arms can be back by the side. Settle in, just take a little rest here. Letting go of everything. This is a nice stretch for the back body, the lower back. Keep your eyes closed, safe to do here. And you might bring your drishti to that third eye, the space between your eyebrows, and just let it rest there while you're resting your body. And now inhale, come back up to tabletop. Keep your hips over your knees. So you don't want your hips to go back. You're going to keep your hips over your knees and walk your hands out in front, keeping your arms straight. Let your head come down between your arms, resting on the floor, or you can rest it on a blanket or a block. For some support, you don't want to strain the back of your neck. So this is a puppy pose or melting heart. So it's a stretch for your chest, your spine, your shoulders. So make any minor adjustments. We're going to hold for a little bit longer. Any minor adjustments so you can really relax into this and not have excessive stress anywhere. Do try to keep your hips over your knees and release wherever you can. Again, eyes closed, noticing sensation. If there's any struggle in any pose ever, back off. Make any modifications so that it becomes a good yoga pose. No effort, no struggle in yoga. No, there is effort, but not struggle. Okay, then bring yourself back up to all fours. And we're going to do a little vinyasa before we come up to standing. And so here's how that goes. Take an inhale and tabletop right in the center. Then exhale, hips back to child's pose, not to stay. Inhale, back up to all fours. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. So don't move with my words, move with your breath. Just the inhale will always bring you to tabletop. The exhale alternates between child's pose and down dog. So feel the movement, smooth flowing movement like the element of water. That's what vinyasa is. Flowing, smooth. Stay with every bit of the movement. Keep your focus right inside. You might be able to close your eyes through this. You've got good foundation. You don't have to, it's only if it's comfortable. Slow, deep, even breath. And the next time you come to downward facing dog, pause there. Press into your hands, press down through your heels, lift your tailbone up. You can have your knees bent a little or a lot, or legs straight. Reach your tailbone up to the sky. Let your neck be soft. Head hang down. Lengthen your spine in two directions. And then walk your feet up to your hands. Walk, step, or jump your feet. Your feet up to your hands and come into Uttanasan, standing forward bend. The forward bend that's right for you. Knees bent a little or a lot. You can gradually straighten your legs. Any arms. Just hang here. Nice release for your lower back, lengthening out your low back. And then best way for you, come all the way up to standing. And build your mountain pose. Now, you all know how to build a mountain pose. Just make sure you start at your feet by lifting and spreading your toes and getting a nice firm foundation on all four corners of your feet, balanced. Press down into the mat and let the pose build from the bottom up, aligning your hips over your ankles, lengthening your side waist, so the space between your rib cage and your pelvis. Shoulders up, back, down, shoulder blades together so your chest is nice and open. Arms externally rotated, Hasta Bandha, spread your fingers. Lift up through the crown of your head. Release any extra effort. Try to release 25% without losing your alignment. Relax your face, your jaw, your neck, shoulders down from the ears. Come back to your breath. Close your eyes if you have the balance. Perhaps bring your focus to that third eye, your center of intuition. Slow, deep, even breath. Okay, then we're going to move to some shoulder shrugs. That's a tongue twister for me today. So keeping your mountain pose orientation, inhale, bring your shoulders up to your ears really hard, and then exhale, let them fall. So a few more times. Inhale up, exhale, fall. 3, we're going to do it 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. I'm just rolling back a few times. And we're going to do some swimming. So right arm up and around, left arm up and around. A few more times here. Fingers spread, reach out, reach back. And slow it down, and now we'll backstroke. So range of motion in your shoulders. Notice. Modify so that you're not in pain. And then slow down. And going to work on the neck. So a lot of tension can accumulate in the shoulders and the neck. So take your hands, clasp your fingers behind your head, and just gently let the weight of your hands bring your chin towards your chest. So gentle stretch up the back of your neck. Not tugging, not forcing, gentle stretch. And press your head, the back of your head into your hands and the hands into the head for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just keep that position, but release it. And now perhaps letting the chin will go a little further. Don't force it. And count to 5. Again, pressing hands against head, head against hands. So facilitated stretch for a count of 5. And then stop the pushing against each other and do it one more time, perhaps getting a little deeper. So this is contract and release. Okay, and then come up. Take your right hand and bring it around your head toward your left ear, gently bringing your right ear toward your right shoulder. So letting the weight of your hand just gently stretch out the left side of your neck. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the back of the neck, stretching the sides. So you're going to press your hand into the side of your head, the side of your head into your hand for a count of 5. Just don't overdo it. And then just release the pressure. And then perhaps a little deeper ear toward the shoulder. Maybe not. And do that 2 more times. The 5 count of pressure. And then release. And then 1 more time. Then arm away, head up, left arm out toward right ear, left ear toward the shoulder. You can gently reach down through your right fingers down toward the floor to get a little more. And 3 times. The pressure for 5. And then release. And then 2 more times. And then release. So you're getting a stretch up the right side, and there's also a release on the left side. Okay, last one. So this time you're going to turn your gaze over your right shoulder, bring your left arm up to your left cheek, and here you're going to press your cheek into your hand into your cheek for 5. Release, but keep your hand there 2 more times, just like that. So now you're getting some different muscles, the rotator muscles in your neck. These are the ones that you use when you look over your shoulder to back the car up. And then other side, so turn to look over your left shoulder. Right hand against right cheek. Press for 5. Notice where you feel this. Release. Press again. Release. And one more time. And bring your gaze back to forward. And grab your strap or belt or tie, whatever. Bring it behind your back. You can hold it any way you want. You could have your knuckles forward or palms forward, but do bring your shoulder blades together on the back so your chest is really open, and gently pull the strap, your hands away from each other. So just stretch the strap, and we're going to hold this for about a minute. So you've got a nice tall mountain posture. Bring your awareness to your shoulder blades on the back. Close your eyes if you can. And in your mind's eye, see those shoulder blades coming closer together. Notice the stretch happening in the front body. Shoulders down from your ears. So don't let your shoulders climb up. Keep your shoulders down and keep the pressure on the belt or strap. Notice where you feel it in your arms. And then release. Roll your shoulders out a few times. And come back to your mountain pose. Go into it mindfully. Get everything in alignment from the bottom, reaching down through your feet up through the crown of your head. Reconnect. Reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with what's going on inside. Feel the energy moving around. Little electrical impulses. And then let your eyes open and inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Step your feet back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your knees. Walk your hands out a little ways and bring your shoulders over your wrists and lower down very slowly, keeping your elbows near your sides. Hips stay up, chest goes down, and come onto your belly, prone position. Lengthen out through your legs. You're on the tops of your feet. Bring your elbows under your shoulders. Spread your fingers. Let your toes come together. Inwardly rotate your thighs. Let your belly be on the mat, heavy down. Raise your chest through your arms so you can drag back on your forearms. And let your chest open up through your arms. Keep your gaze down toward the mat, perhaps about a foot out of in front of your hands, so you don't want to extend your neck here. Sphinx pose. Breathe. Shoulder blades are together on the back. This is a pose that strengthens your upper back muscles. Really good for posture. Stretches the front of your chest. Few more breaths. Close your eyes, go inside. And then take a rest. Stack your hands, bring your forehead to the tops of your hands. Just let everything go. Let everything sink down into the mat. Just release and breathe. Notice here, bring your awareness to your back body, the back of your heart, and notice that since your front body is compressed against the mat, as you breathe, your back ribs can be more active here. The back rib cage is separating more than it could when you were in supine position at the beginning of practice. So breathe into your back heart. Now bring your hands under your shoulders. Keep your elbows near your sides and scoop yourself up so that your thighs are off the mat. Your arms are straight by your side. Shoulders are over your elbows. So your arms are nice and straight. Let your lower body just hang and lift up. So the curve in your spine is, you're not pinching your low back. It's mostly in the upper back. Nice smooth curve here. Gaze is down in front. Upward facing dog. Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. If this is not comfortable for you, you can do a cobra or go back into Sphinx. Again, the shoulder blades are together on the back, chest open. And then bring yourself back up to all fours. Bring your legs out to the side and come back around onto a seat. Have a block handy and a blanket. Come onto your backs. Knees bent, feet about hip width apart, as close to your hips as you can. You might be able to touch the backs of your heels with your fingertips, might not. And you can have your arms palms down by your side, or you can rest on your forearms. Do bring your shoulder blades together on the back before we begin some bridge. Establish your Pada Bandha. Spread, lift and spread your toes. Press into both feet. Spread your fingers. Inhale, lift your hips. Bridge pose. Move dynamically for a few breaths. Exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time from the top to your spine, bottom of your spine. A few more times. Inhale, lift. No struggle. Moving slowly with your breath. If your knees splay out, this is where you might want to put the block between your knees, even if they don't, just to give you an awareness of the muscles on the inside of your thighs, the adductors, which bring your legs together. And now your choice to hold and bridge. You can clasp your hands under your hips, or you can keep moving with or without the block. You can take the block and place it under your sacrum on the flat side for supported bridge. So decide what's the best thing for you today. What feels right, and what feels right and feels good in your body is what's right for you, and that's different from another day, another time, another person. So a lot of yoga practice is learning to listen to your body and give your body what it needs. Okay, then come out of that and get a blanket or a small bolster, so something to support your, I'm going to fold my blanket into a roll, place it on the mat. We're going to do, I'll show you, we're going to do a supported fish. So the blanket's going to support our upper spine and perhaps head. You can have so it's just as simple, it's just something supporting your spine and head, and your legs can be straight out or they can be bent. Arms can be cactus or out to the side, palms up, or down by your side, palms up. The palms up helps to open your chest. That's external rotation. Internal rotation is going to close the chest. So whichever way you have your arms, have the palms face up. And this is a restorative pose, supported, so you can use minimal effort, maximum comfort, and release. So you choose your arms, you choose your legs, and we're just going to restore and relax here for about a minute. Just letting it's a passive opening, stretching of the chest. Stretches the muscles between your rib cage, the intercostal muscles. Stay with your breath. Perhaps direct your gaze to that third eye. It's connection with your higher consciousness. Which is beyond your thinking mind, beyond the ego. Okay, now remove your blanket. You can keep it nearby if you want to try that supported fish for Shavasana, but we're going to do it one more asana before we get to Shavasana. A twist. So your choice of a supine twist. So some options are one leg straight, the other knee across that leg, or it could be both knees to one side. It could be the figure 4 configuration of the legs and then moving them to one side. So any kind of a supine twist that appeals to you today. And we'll hold for 1 minute each side. I'll let you know when the minute is up, starting around now. So the twist helps move the lymph system, getting rid of toxins. It's a great counter pose for everything. It brings things back into balance. So with your breath, you can send your breath on the inhale into any area, perhaps the area where you feel the most sensation. Get more out of it, sending the breath there. And on the exhale, release, consciously release. Maybe you're getting more practice, more sensitive to the release. It's such a good feeling. Okay, then take a few moments to find your twist on the other side. Does not have to be the same. Your sides are different, so find a comfortable twist on this side. A twist where there is sensation, you feel some change happening. Just the right amount of change, sensation. I'll just hold this for about a minute. Stay with your breath. Let the breath work for you. Bringing it to this area of sensation. Exhaling, letting go, releasing what doesn't serve you, releasing tension. That's the beauty of the exhale. And then begin to move into your version of Shavasana today. A suggestion is to try, you can go back to the blanket under your spine of supported fish, or Another nice Shavasana is a rolled blanket under your knees. That helps to release some tension in the low back. Or a blanket covering you to keep you warm. You can use the strap. If you don't have an eye bag, you can use the strap across your eyes as an eye pillow. So find your best Shavasana for today. Most important pose of the practice. It's where you give your body a chance to integrate all the things you've done in practice. It's a complete surrender to the moment and to what is. Letting your body breathe itself. So wonderful, the body can just do that for you. No effort. Just sinking into the moment. Free from ego, free from thoughts, planning, remembering, thinking ahead. Just give yourself a few minutes to be right here, right now. Knowing that you have everything you need, you are everything you need. It's all good. And gently bring your awareness back to the space. Awaken your body with small movements. Maybe stretching a little bit. Coming back to your breath. And then gradually bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. And sit with a tall, straight spine, eyes closed. We're going to repeat the stress-free breath or free stress breath or bee breath, whatever that we did at the beginning of practice. And that's just to refresh. A full inhale, exhaling with a sound. When you run out, all the way till you run out of breath, and then inhaling again, counting. I'm going to time the 1 minute again. And there's no expectation of the difference in the count between the beginning of practice and now. This is just seeing where you are. So start now. Deep inhale, exhale with a sound. Slow exhale. Okay, then just return to your normal breath. Bring your hands, palms together at your heart space. Lower your chin, bow to your efforts today. And I thank you for coming to yoga and staying with the practice for about an hour. Such a gift to your body, to your overall wellness, mind, body, spirit, and I hope you feel that. The light in me bows to and honors the very same light in each of you. Namaste. Okay, so maybe you'll want to go home and time your regular breaths for 1 minute. According to Wim Hof, where I got that exercise, that stress-free breathing exercise, if you're breathing 12 to 15 breaths a minute, that indicates you're stressed. So you might want to try it out, and I hope that you're not, but if you are, you know that you can try this, the breath we just did, just for 1 minute, and it will activate that parasympathetic nervous system, which is how you find the peace inside. So anyway, have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye.